2 teenagers and 5 men have appeared before an Abeokuta Magistrates Court over alleged theft of electrical fittings and household items worth over 28 million naira. The defendants, Sunday Odeshola, 15, and Monday Uda, 16, and David Odeshola, 45, were arraigned on a 3-count charge of conspiracy, stealing, and malicious damage. 4 others, Kaman Rabiru, 27, Lawa Shabu, 25, Hazid Abdullahi, 27 years old, and Ibrahim Khalid, 25, were arraigned for unlawfully receiving stolen goods. He alleged that Odeshola Ode and Odeshola broke into the house of one Mr. Akinwale Azez and stole an Etito inverter machine valued at 2 million naira, electrical wires, refrigerator, compressors, and gas cooker burners, all valued at 26 million naira, totaling to 28 million naira. The prosecutor also added that Sunday Odeshola and Ode maliciously damaged one electric engine valued at 500,000, one entrance iron door valued at 150,000, one aluminium window glass valued at 50,000, and 5 refrigerators valued at 1 million naira, all valued at 1.7 million naira. We were just talking about the case of hardship, but I wanted us to look at it because teenagers were actually involved in this. You know, the crime, the high crime rate. 16 years and 15 years. This is at 15. What were we literally thinking of? Just eat, go to church, go to school, and come back home. There was nothing more we were thinking of, at that time. But we have this here that you won't believe what 8 years old, 10 years old can actually do right here. The effect of the country, the effect of certain, things that have been going on that affected the minds of the teenagers. I actually wanted you to throw more light on this first before we get into more of the stories.
Yes, we are aware that all over the world, values are no longer placed. Values are no longer placed in the sense that we are in a system now where, you see underage children having access to Android phones, computers, iPads, and all that. And you see most families, most parents will not put parental restrictions on some of these facilities we hand over to our children. You say a child cries, I want cartoon, mommy cartoon, they will hand over their phones. In course of that, these children will have access to unauthorized contents in the phones. So we are in an age where the underage children are even smarter than what we used to have in the last decades. They are smarter, they tend to learn the bad things quicker. And peer influence is also a contributory factor to why we have lots of drug addiction on the streets, lots of juvenile crime happening daily, juvenile prostitution, and all that, as a result of, exposures to what ordinarily they shouldn't be exposed to at that age. So the society generally, that has nothing to do with government. I think I blame families, because this whole thing should begin with the families.
Okay.
So now, from that angle of the fact that 2 things are involved, 15 and 16. When this story broke up yesterday, some persons were arguing, but police ought not to arrest and even intend to prosecute minors. I said no. Now let us look at what the law says. Section 277 of the Child Rights Act defines who is a child. The act says anybody under the age of 18 is a child in the eyes of the law. But that does not mean if you are not up to 18, you commit a crime, you cannot be held criminally liable. You know, we need to do a little public enlightenment here. In Nigeria, 18 years down, you are a child. 17 years down, you are a child. But 18 up, the law sees you as an adult. But criminal responsibility between the ages of 12 and 16, you can be prosecuted for a crime you committed. That is the truth. At that age, you are criminally liable unless it is proved beyond reasonable doubt that as at the time of commission of that offense, that you were not aware that it was a crime. But that's a high level proof before you can convince the court, you can convince the prosecution counsel that as at the time that minor committed that offense, that he or she, her mind was not matured enough to comprehend that it was a crime.
What if, you just talked about peer pressure quickly, sorry to cut you short. You talked about peer pressure. What if these adults that were mentioned, 57 and 38, coerce these teenagers? You know when you tell them that let's break into this house, or more, what we'll get 28 million naira, we'll share the money, you get whatever you want. What if they were talked into that scenario, that situation of getting into this crime?
Yes, an adult co-opting a minor to commit a crime, both of them can be charged for conspiracy.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, the child being a minor, does not mean that if he or she is between the ages of 12 to 16, that he or she should be shielded from criminal prosecution. No. If at that age you commit a crime, you are criminally liable, you are criminally responsible for yourself, and the law will take its course. Yes. But if it is below that age of, accepting criminal responsibility, the proper court will be the juvenile court. Okay? But at this point, considering what has happened there, the police did not do wrong in charging them alongside the others, because look at their age, 15 and 16. So the police did not contravene the law in charging them. Yes. So
in this case now, it's if they are actually convicted, they can be sent to prison.
Not prison.
Or the juvenile court.
Yeah, the juvenile detention centers.
Okay, because of their age.
If it were to be a capital offense.
Okay. What if
which is felonious?
What if it had involved murder case? What if they were?
Yes, that's why I said if it had to be a capital offense, which is felony. Okay, and for example, they are sentenced to say 10 years imprisonment, and as at the time they were sentenced, one of them is 16. Okay. He or she will be remanded in the juvenile detention center until 18.
Okay.
Then he continues the sentence.
Okay.
That is the way it
works.
It works.
You said in this instance that the government cannot be blamed, but the family of this young minds, that got involved in this situation. But I'm not saying that. People say that because of the country situation, people get into crime. There was a story where I actually saw about a guy that murdered his friend. I don't want to use the wrong word. Over 30 million naira, and then this other one that also killed his friend over a POS issue. There was this controversy, and then you see this amount of money where they really don't. 30 million naira is not really it. if you really look at that money, it might sound really huge, but it's not really worth someone's life, you know. And then you'll be wondering what would actually trigger people to take lives over peanuts like this, you know. And it just calls for concern. And someone was trying to refer to the fact that the country situation can also trigger people, but there are people that they are barely feeding. There are people that do menial jobs. Like I talked about the grinding. You go to the marketplace, you see people that grind food and foodstuffs for people just to, you know, manage and fend for themselves as the day passes. You know, the fact that the country is actually in a situation that is not favorable to everybody is not enough reason to evolve or dive into crime. Because once you get into crime, no matter your age, like you mentioned, you will get called for it. You will get called. The law will catch up with you, you know. But I wanted to also put it on the part of the government. Do you think that the youth that are unemployed should be given opportunity to strive? Do you think that there should be something, you know, job opportunities? Because you see cases where young lads, adults that are done with the higher institutions are out of schools. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they're still at home eating under the roof of their parents. So most times they get insulted. Some of them get into depression state. Some of them, you know, get into crime because they just want to, you know, escape that traumatic experience. You know, do you think that something has to be done in this case to reduce the rate of unemployment?
Okay. Permit me, I will take them step by step.
Okay.
For the interest of our listening viewers. I will start by reconciling why I said the government is not to be blamed upon the rot we have, you know, on the peer or the youthful exuberance going on. The government shouldn't be blamed totally.
Okay.
Because one, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. The government never sent anyone to go and steal. They are not the only ones in Nigeria. The hardship is biting on everyone, both the high and mighty. The big men who stashed billions of naira in their various accounts, I can bet you that they don't buy fuel cheaper than we buy. So you have billions, and within 6 months you have expended over 100 million. You know, maybe fueling your cars. As a big man, you have your entourage, you fuel them, you fuel the diesel engine at home and all that, and other smaller, you know, lubricants you buy and all that. So you see the money keeps depleting fast. The government never sent anyone to commit a crime or to go out there to steal. Everybody is just managing. It's just about family pattern and what they instill on their children.
Okay.
The way the Bible said, bring up your child the way he or she should grow, so that when he or she grows, he won't depart from that. You see, most of our youth today have abandoned the responsible way of living. They want to wear the best Gucci.
You want to get quick money.
You want to get quick money. You want to drive a Benz worth over 30-something million, while your parents who worked as a civil servant, retired, never even had up to 20 million. But you as a peer, you want to drive a Benz of 30-something million within a period. You don't care. I mean, that's crazy. That is to tell you that there is a misfit somewhere. Something is lacking. The upbringing is wrong. Possibly they've gone out to school and met with peers who had access to good cars and all that. They want to measure out to be like them. Most of them do that. They join gangs, robbery gangs, kidnapping gangs, ritual gangs, because they want to measure up and be like friends. That is the problem. So the government never sent anyone to go and steal. Then now, reconciling it with the government providing jobs. We ask ourselves a question and be truthful here. How many youths graduate yearly from the universities? Which institutions, corporate organizations, ministries will accommodate everybody at the same time? It's not possible. Even in America, government doesn't provide jobs for everyone. The private sector here has a role to play too. And also, individuals. Look, we need to, it's high time we start looking out for ourselves. Okay. It's high time we stopped looking for jobs. There are jobs everywhere we can do.
Okay.
You can create your own job. You can, for example, someone who acquires skill to learn how to barb have added value, right? Instead of idling away, waiting for when the miracle of government job comes, you can try alternative measures. I am a lawyer, but I have other skills. I have farming skills. I do forklifting. I can operate crane. And I can drive truck. So you see, I have different skills. Aside from my professional skill set, I also have unskilled sets. The side you can say that are unskilled, but are viable. So people shouldn't just wait till government provides everything.
Okay.
So those youths, those underage guys who went to steal, the government shouldn't be blamed
for it.
It is their bad character.
Okay.
Their bad upbringing, their bad association they are keeping, and also what they have made up their mind to do. Because in commission of crime, there are two factors, two elements we consider in law before we can say a crime has been committed.
Okay.
We have the actus rea and we have the mens rea. The actus rea the mens rea has to do with the mental thinking in your heart. Okay, this camera stand, if I steal this camera stand, I can sell it for 5,000. You see, you're already nursing ambition to steal. That is the mental, the mens rea. Then the actus rea, which is the actual stealing. The act itself.
Yes.
To steal, sell, convert it to funds. That is the actus rea. So the law looks at the mens and the actus. If it actually correlates, then a crime has been committed.